Good afternoon. This is KV Fabian speaking to you from the Central Station. I've been doing some organizing with my collection of artwork. The holiday season is now officially over and people have gotten back to their regular routine. The holiday season in Montreal, Canada, is a great time for creative minds to create. There's a huge influx of cards and promotional materials and displays, visual light displays that are very extraordinary at this time of year. So I take an opportunity to collect cards. I've been trying to organize my collection into the proper way so that I could go through it and figure out how I'm going to make the collection commercial. So I'm going to try it to do one more time a live book on YouTube, so you could see a little bit, get an idea of some of the art that I'm collecting. As you see, you have in front of here, you have the Christmas cards, the holiday season cards, which mostly these pictures I look for things that are actually have to do with winter. And how it started is I had a lot of nervous energy as I was working in my studio. I have my firm, the Art Fabian Company, and sometimes there's too much pressure. I didn't know what to do. I would go down to the local thrift shop. At the time, they had a great big. This is when it gets tricky. Excuse me, because I have to turn it to the vertical side. Just a second. I haven't figured out quite how to do that yet. I would go down to the local thrift shop, which is called Le Chaînon, and I didn't want to spend money until a certain date came to spend money. So what I did is I thought if I would go to look for art within the cards that might be interesting. So the cards were 10 cents each. I placed my faith on my extensive experience as an artist. So I would look for things that would be commercially valuable at 10 cents and collect and collect and collect. And that's how this collection started. The first cards were actually mailed to people a lot. But then I have gotten some advices. I started to, they were so exceptionally beautiful. One of my favorite examples of how important this collection could be is what happened when I found not cards, but some old Reader's Digest books. Not only that particular collection was a collection, Reader's Digest was having trouble getting people to do some reading. So their books. So they decided to go to museum quality artists and ask them to do book illustrations for them. I happened to luck on several Reader's Digest books that were actually being put into the recycling bin. And I took the books apart for those prints, and I sent them out to special people. At the time, I was receiving a lot of I was going to high culture, the opera, the ballet, the Montreal Symphony Orchestra, and I was receiving periodically, as is the custom, demands for charitable donations. Since all my money was spent on the tickets, I had actually not that much money, so instead I sent them cards. You see, I have, like I said, I have a preference for animal cards, and besides which, that's what I seem to have found a lot of. So as you see here, I have quite a few. And then another thing that's interesting is the lighthouse one. I have the lighthouse. This is not actually in order, but it's the first time I'm going through it since for a while. I didn't know how it would work because I've had trouble filming it before, but I'm quite comfortably installed in the train station, and I think it's fun. As you see, these are perfectly lovely landscapes. Beautiful, beautiful landscapes of often vintage cards. The cards could be from a large series. They're usually the leftovers because they don't have a lot of cards of the same kind where I went to get them. So often they're they're very pricey, more expensive than I could afford. If not, they're from another country and they don't have them here. More expensive or more difficult for anyone to get them. More animals, lots of animals. At the beginning, I believe I was going through bird pictures because in the valuable gallery, which was my company is called the Art Fabian Company or Art Fabian Studio. The valuable gallery is our unofficial exhibition space, and right now the exhibition there is about birds. So I was doing a lot of collecting of bird pictures. Now I have, this book is not in order yet. I actually found some great photograph albums in a store called Japanese Photo albums, and they're expensive for me because I actually have, you know, what they say is the phrase champagne taste beer barrel pocketbooks. This is part of another collection. This is the personal cards. This is part of the inheritance I received from my mother. Throughout the years I sent her correspondence, and they were kept in a box throughout the years, and when she passed away they came back to me. So that's just a few. I'm not exactly sure what direction I'm going because it's hard to figure out how to place all these different kinds of collections that my company has. See, this is these now are coming some artwork that I did myself personally, different rushes on some very lovely ladies who were doing some music in the park near us for the holiday season, some carolers. One of my favorite sources of inspiration still continues to be the cartoon form of anime, Japanese animated film, which is stems from the Chinese version of manga, which happens to deal a lot with studies of beautiful people, as you can see, which is what I really adore them. I love the pictures, and I mostly love the celebration of beauty and form. Despite what people have some things to say about the contrary, there's a very special emotion that comes to people when they see a particularly lovely person, I think, and you can't deny it. As much as you wish you could, you know, because, I don't know, you're having a bad hair day. This particular card's upside down. This is one of my works of art. These are two of my own original artwork over here. This one's called, I think, The Singer, and this one, I'm not sure what it's called, Kidnapped. Unfortunately, one is upside down. They're not properly organized again. This is just the first time I'm going through the book as I figure out what's going to go in what book and what photograph album I'm going to buy next. I had put these first of all and foremost in little card boxes that I found. First I found them, the commercial card boxes where these cards where card collections, Christmas cards came from. Uh-oh, I lost my place. And then finally I found in the stationery store these plastic card boxes for 4x6 and 5x7. But although it'll store them properly flat, which is supposed to store your photographs horizontally, the problem is these are not conducive to going through them and seeing them actually so that I can actually put them in a really final order. This album, when it's finished, this particular one, is going to go in storage because I'm not going to be publicizing and selling any kind of portraits for this time. I got in some big trouble with it, financial trouble with it here in Montreal, as someone claimed I did not have a right to film them, and I was completely devastated financially. So no portraits for now of celebrities, even if it says I've been going through the Bing search entrance, and it says that free to use, share and modify commercially. That's all I use, but it says it might be subject to copyright laws, and that's good by Charlie. I had enough of the copyright. I don't want to fight it. I want to sell it and make money. I have much to do. Ain't no rest for the wicked. Money don't grow on trees. I got bills to pay. I got mouths to feed. So I really don't want to hassle myself with it. This is, you have some things of jewelry that I'm going to put away because I don't want to develop them further. I have also some prints of the valuable gallery, which are fuzzy, which I put later. Back to the cards. I'm now in the process of going through my archives to find all the cards I have. I have about 2 more days of that. And this book might be just filled with cards, but for the moment, I'm using it as a general archive. When I finish filming it, I'm going to go back and try to organize it more so the cards go with the cards, the birds go with the birds, and my artwork goes with my artwork. But for right now, I just want to, I've been for several days trying to get to the thing filmed, and I just, that's how I bought the album in the first place, actually, as I wasn't going to do it, and I said, geez, I'm not sure. I had an album that I got from the thrift shop, and it's pretty damaged. I don't want to damage these cards. So I went into Japanese Photo. I was on a hunch. I was going somewhere else, and I said I'm going to buy them. They're $30 each, which to me is a fortune at this time, but they're good. This is something too I'm not sure what I'm going to do with yet. I'm not sure how I'm going to develop it. This will go in the archives for now. These are actually magazine clippings. These are pieces that are taken from a magazine somewhere, or media. I don't know what kind. I collected media for a while when I was going to the arts. I was often going to the Maison de Culture, to the library shows, and I collected all sorts of. They have all sorts of literature there, public media, and I have collected them throughout the years. And I started clipping out things that I thought were worthy of note or beautiful, and loath to give them up. I've printed some, but for now I don't know. I think I'm going to put them on the back burner. So you see, I have 2 albums of 200 each, and they fill up rather quickly. I only have a few pages left, so if I find any more cards, I might have to buy another one. Luckily, Japanese Photo has also photographic album that is for 200, split by 4x6 and 5x7, 104x6, 105x7, which is good because you see, I have, like I was saying, I have the bird collection is very important for the valuable gallery because I use them for exhibition purposes, and I really I want the 4x6 and the 5x7, which are most of the cards of those sizes, to be put together so for easy reference. Another one that I would be like to do it is a 4x. That's a problem. 4x6 and the 5x7, and they also have 4x6 and 3.5 and 5x5.5, and that would be actually, if I could find it, my cards that I made for my mother as well as other people, my own personal stationery like this here, because some are, as you see, are very small and might fit into the 3.5 by 5.5. So this is KV Fabian speaking to you from the Central